All right, good evening, ladies and gents. We salute you. This is Oliver. I'm in a bunker I call Studio 72. Just wanted to chime in on the narrative that we're hearing about this Iranian targeted hit on the nuclear, I was going to say facilities. I guess it's facility related. But, there's a few things that I think the worst part of this, the entire botching of this story for me, and all of this is just my opinion, all the intel that I've gleaned off of just watching public stuff, everybody's channels and opinions. The main thing, the botched part is how this is being played out in the press, in the media. The overreaction. Now we've got this hysteria about a leaker with fake intel. What's the hysteria if it's fake intel? What the fuck, guys? Oh, you don't understand. This is highly classified. You mean a bunk story you're trying to downplay and call a rumor and bad intel or no intel, zero intel, but that's a big deal. That's a big deal. It's a big deal because it exposed this operation. It exposed it. I'm not saying that it didn't hit the targets, but there is a shift, a narrative shift that's trying to jam some facts here. The number one is we got to take a back step here. This is not just Donnie coming in on a one-off, hitting these 3 nuclear sites, a couple of generators and one that maybe or manufacturing. I'm still kind of puzzled on those two, because if there was an actual nuclear facility, which there is there operating, providing electricity, then we'd have a Chernobyl. And that whole, as an environmentalist, I don't really necessarily call myself more of a conservationist today, because that term environmentalist has been corrupted, but who the fuck's not an environmentalist? I mean, even the conservative hunters and fishermen are environmentalists. We all want fresh air. We all want fresh water. But they have completely co-opted that term. Don't get me started on how fucking pissed I am of just the hijacking of Green New Deal phrasing. That came out of the Green Party. Had nothing to do with cow farts. Had nothing to do with what the fuck they did. It's infuriating. That's a whole nother video. Some of it pops out just like now. It's really disgusting. And the whole fact that they've triggered into the global capture and all this crap that Dr. Jill Stein fed into. She's feeding into this CO2 and bunk voodoo environmental data. It's really disgusting, but I digress. What I wanted to talk about was just my general feelings of the layers of gaslighting and the gaslighting that continues to come out from Pete, all the titles, I'm not even sure all that. I think he's DOD, Secretary of War, right? We got to rename that. There's a whole bunch of things that need unpacking, and you really can't do it in a 2-minute, 20-second slice, or maybe 3 2-minute, 20 minutes. So then you got, because X gets 2 minutes, 20 seconds. That's what I'm jiving about. So if you're going to do 3 of them, then you're looking at 6 minutes. So here we are at 3.5, and I'm still just rattling away. Hadn't even gotten to the core of it. So it takes a little bit more of unpacking. Let me back up mentally. President Trump has said a number of things that contradict themselves. Almost completely contradicting takes and opinions on what we're talking about with this whole Iranian thing. He's trying to frame it as this 12-day war. I keep hearing all of this historical framing, like it's so important to put this into the history books. It's such a beautiful thing. We got to nominate Donnie. Donnie needs that Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, Obama got one. If the rattlesnake's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize, then Golden Dawn the Saint definitely deserves and should be. We can't keep this from him any longer. He's the peacemaker that we've always looked for. And he ain't the peacemaker anymore, boss. You just lost about 80% of respect from me on that one issue of being lied to, that you were the peacemaker. You're not the peacemaker. You're running with a bunch of globalist neocons. You've surrounded yourself on people that are in the middle of instigating World War IV. III's already happened. 20 years we battled on the global dance floor. Everybody, all the proxies were there. It already happened. So get over that. The framing. I keep hearing this 333. It's done. This is 4. You're not a peacemaker when you're instigating that. You're not a peacemaker when you're duping your voters and you're lying and manipulating, pretending you're doing diplomacy with Iran while you're lying to them. And then he's sending out posts that are applauding extrajudicial assassinations. Good hit, guys. Good targets. Assassinations, that's the USA. And all of a sudden, all these minion, sick, MAGA fucking cultists come out of the woodwork going, yeah, you gotta march with that. You're not with us. You're fake, and you're with the Qatari government, and you gotta march with us. We're going to World War IV, and Don's our man. Wait a minute. He was your man. He was all of our men because he was a peacemaker. Now we're being excluded. We're going to be rounded up, put into little GOP FEMA camps and trailers, right? That's where you guys were. You still are there now. Look at you. Look at you. If we didn't march along for World War IV, we got to go into FEMA camps, into the desert. That's it. You're done. Not only are you excluded from this coalition, America First coalition, that includes independents and libertarians and Democrats that are disinfected. Forget all that shit, you fucking whack job cultists. Forget all that shit. We go into FEMA trailers because we're not marching into this goddamn bullshit PSYOP stage war theater. It's disgusting. Listen, when you lose me, you're really fucked. This campaign, this administration is really fucked. Because I'm one of the most open-minded, independent type of people through all of this. When you lose us, 40% of this country is non-affiliated. We don't fucking like these rhino warhawks. And you're proving why we don't like you. You sabotage all the rest of us that are peacemakers, trying to go along and build a coalition. So you just split and divided that. And you guys are marching around celebrating? It's just gross. Oh, yeah, Don Jr., even my dad is, it's like, you guys are missing the fucking plot. You're missing the entire fucking plot. You chose down a path of destruction. You chose down a path that could not only ignite a Chernobyl nuclear disaster, as I was ranting in the beginning, that us environmentalists, we don't like the nuclear energy because of that stupid dipshit move. You got earthquakes. You got El Diablo in California sitting on a major, massive fault line, ready to snap with an 8 or a 9 and shake up California real good. El Diablo? Where's all that radiation go, you smart nuclear physicist jackasses? Where does that radiation go? Oh, into the ocean? It's going to be okay. It's going to go in the ocean? It's going to nuke the entire CRISPR of California that provides huge surplus of food to this country and beyond into the world. That's what radiation does. That's what you just about did. And you're celebrating because you didn't blow that up? Well, good. Good. I'll applaud you. Thumbs up, dipshits. You didn't create Chernobyl and blow up the active nuclear facility. Well, what did you blow up? Oh, you don't know what you blew up? You don't know because you need intel? But then Rubio says, no, fuck the intel. We don't need intel. Who needs intelligence? We can see. It's obliterated. It's obliterated. It's annihilated. Obliterated. So this is the high tech. This came out of all of the trillions of dollars that we've spent into the Pentagon, out of the trillions of dollars of black sites through the CIA. This is all we got. This is it. No video of the live action. No, they couldn't show that. No, they couldn't show that. I found more on public Google websites of what happened than what the government's even talking about and showing. Isn't that seem odd? Doesn't this high-tech 6th grade drawing, doesn't that seem odd that that's all we've got? but it was a smash success, and we're told not to answer any questions, and we're told to sign up and rally and start marching in the streets for a Nobel Peace Prize for Golden Dawn, because it's so damn important. Like, yeah, Obama got one, he better get one too. Heard him say that 100 times. And it is ridiculous that he got one, but that's beyond the point. Stay here on focus. And so, you see, this is an example of these amazing, heroic pilots. Oh my God, these amazing pilots. There's lots of pilots. So you didn't crash it like a Boeing 747 commercial flight? And you're celebrating that you didn't crash it like all the other Boeing planes are going down? Well, good job, guys. You didn't crash. You didn't fuck it up. You guys are so proud you didn't crash and fuck it up. Well, good. March around. Do your picnic. Yay. We didn't crash and fuck it up. So I got a plane here. This is the 30,000 bunker busters. See right here, you can see there's 3 holes. This is the high tech. This is where all our money went to. This drawing here from Ratcliffe in the CIA, right? Because Ratcliffe was right there. Yeah, we saw CIA Director Ratcliffe right there in the Situation Room commanding this. And we heard about how important the CIA was from Lindsey Graham in the bowels of the Capitol today. We got him on a live feed. I can play that for you. Lindsey Graham. He mentions CIA. He doesn't care about Tulsa. He doesn't know why Gabbard was there. Or he's asked a question. Gabbard? Did I say Gabbard? Somebody asked him a question. I can't really tell what it is. And he says, well, I don't know why she was there. Like he's got a problem with her being there? She's Office of National Intelligence. Whatever the official title is. Whatever. No disrespect. I mean, I used to really love Gabbard. Well, it's been an on and off love relationship for years with her. For me. I don't know about you. But back to the drawing, this high-tech CIA, this drawing here, by the way, this cost us $14 trillion. $14 trillion. But it employed about 400 people. See that right there? And these amazing pilots brought us this drawing. See that? Those most heroic pilots that didn't crash a plane, because we do crash a lot of shit. You know, remember some Black Hawk down in Somalia? And there's a lot of tragic things where the pilots really fuck shit up and get captured and tortured and killed. And then we fucking lost all the equipment. Those are a lot of fuck ups. This isn't one. Oh, hell no. I'll tell you, don't get Secretary Pete fired up. Don't get him fired up about this was a fucking smash success. And you dirty rat fuckers, if you say anything different, he's going to come out with a pen and smack you in the ears. Just whap, whap, whap. Ah, you media, you suck. Don't you dare ask me about female pilots again. You got it? Asking questions about female pilots is done from here. We're done with that. Okay. So back to the $14 trillion drawing. See, there's the mountains. That's Iran. Woo! Isn't that spooky? They got mountains and deserts and they got nukes in the ground. That's what we got to blow up. Because as soon as we blow that up, they'll go, oh, we need peace with America. We love USA. That's right. All our friends have nuclear missiles and are ready to arm us. All we need is a little tiny piece because we've got ultraviolet, ultrasound ICBMs at ultrasound speed. So if you notice all the video that we've been watching with this 12-day war, which is not 12 days, it's been 12 years. So the historical framing of 12-day war, that's what was on my mind 5 minutes ago, is this comes from a long line of assassinations. About 50,000 women and children have been bombed and killed out of their low-income apartments in Gaza for the last 2 years. That's what this is all about. Iran said, stop killing our brothers and sisters in the low-income apartments. And Iran said, no, fuck you, we're going to blow you up. And so then Don comes in and goes, well, we got to save PM Bibi because he's being indicted and he's got to go to court again. He's got multiple corruption and fraud cases. So these wars help him. It distracts the courts and keeps him going and makes him look, kind of like productive. But really, he's full of corruption and we got to save his ass. That's what Don just tweeted or posted on Truth just recently. Something like that. I wasn't quoting him about all that, right? You knew that part, right? Wasn't a quote. Okay, just so you got that clear. But you can see right here the smash success. There was a tunnel and it lit up and got real bright. That's how we know it was a smash success. That's how we know everything's buried, right? Because that got a big bright flash of light. And then you can see 2 little holes in the mountaintop. That's right. That's where the 30,000 bunker busters went straight in there and just blew them all to hell. That's right. You can see the nuclear scientists just looking at that going, oh, shit. And here it is. This is the other high-tech picture right here. See? There's our brave service boys, the boys and the bombers, except for there was one girl. Don't you dare ask me about girls again, goddammit. No more questions about women pilots. Okay? Right here, you got the one female, because it was really the one female pilot's the one that made all the kill shots. Pete doesn't want to talk about that. So this right here, this is how it was all designed. And you can see those holes because we blew up the fake holes, the vent holes. This is the ventilation. And then we got this big one. So we don't have any video footage of where this went. We don't have any video footage of any kind except for this one little bright light of the tunnel. That's how we know it went down half a mile and blew up everything. And you're asking me why? Why is there no radiation? Why are we not concerned about radiation? Don't ask me questions like that. We're still doing investigations. We know that this was a smashing fucking success. And you are a communist, Marxist fucking bastard for asking us and questioning this goddamn successful operation that was historical. Do not question. Again, Pete is ready to go postal. That little guy looked like he was going to have a stroke today. He was stroking out. And you asked him about the goddamn one female pilot? He just about shit his knickers. It's right there. This was a smash success. How do we know? Because of this drawing. That's how we know it was a success. And Pete said, bring a shovel and start digging if you really want to know what happened down there. Are you paying attention? Because I sure am. I've listened to all these fucking gaslighting blowhards. Listen to every motherfucker over this operation. Midnight Scammer. Or Midnight Dreamer. What is it? Midnight Hammer? Midnight Scammer. That's what it is. Max Blumenthal, he coined it right. This is the Midnight Scammer. Now, some of you moderates right in the middle, who are beyond, you're not the MEGA, the cat turds and the kitty litter and all the rest of these dipshit fucking cultists that are putting us in FEMA camps. Some of you are in the middle kind of going, well, why can't we just give Don the success? Can't we just give Donnie one? I mean, the poor guy's just gotten beat up by the Ukraine Nazis and CIA. Now the CIA's on board because he's going to blow up the Iranians. He's going to blow up the kitty litter and all that nuclear fucking bombs. We got the CIA. This is a good CIA operation. That's not a bad CIA ops. No, this is a good CIA operation. That's why we got to rally around it. It's Ratcliffe, Brennan's little cohort, right? He studied under Mr. Miyagi and Brennan. Ratcliffe, he's a good guy, right? He's supposed to be a white hat. I don't see any white hats with Ratcliffe. I don't see any white hats with this operation. I don't see any heroes in this operation. I see gaslighting, and it's disgusting. And I see us assisting one foreign nation over all the rest of real Middle East peace. I see Donnie pretending that he's doing diplomacy with Iran when he's calculating a cold massacre as Israel comes in multiple assassinations the week before. They're still doing assassinations today. Violation of the ceasefire, which they did yesterday. Everybody's like, oh no, we got to give it time. It's probably true. Give the ceasefire time. This is not a 12-day war. This is not our first rodeo with these dipshits in the Middle East. This has been decades, but years and years and years. 2 years on the fresh broken ceasefire from Israel, as they claim that some Neanderthal paragliding cavemen came in with some BB guns, freaked the shit out of them, and then the Hannibal Directive was called, and Israel IDF started blowing up their own police stations and military bases. You can see every single parked car and every raver was blown to shit by Israeli forces with the Hannibal Directive that was ordered. Because the terrorists, cavemen, Neanderthal paragliding terrorists, had got in there, which looked a lot like bearded Mossad. Have you ever seen bearded Mossad? They love paragliding. You know, it's kind of their thing. They staged all that and they had to kill everybody because chances some of those guys might have go free. And so we got to kill everybody. Sometimes that means we kill our own people. We kill our own clerks. We kill our own officers. That's the way the Mossad rolls. That's the way the IDF rolls. You should know that by now. We have it. It's historical. It's historical. It's on record. We got it all. So ever since that, and the whole reason that all this conflict is not because little poor victim Israel is getting beat up on all of its neighbors. No, that's not what the fuck is going on. What's going on is that Israel has taken it upon themselves to bomb and assassinate multiple countries' military and scientists and leaders, political leaders, really. They're political leaders, but it's a fine line. When you get the military as the leaders, it's you know, I could give them a little wiggle room there, all right? But they're not victims here, okay? That's bullshit. So that whole narrative just sucks donkey balls right out of the gate. You're already gaslighting. You're calling it a 12-day war, which is bullshit. And it's still going on. It isn't going to end. You think it's ended? You think we got peace? We got Nobel Peace Prize for Golden Dawn? Who the fuck do you think you're talking with here? Lindsey Graham spilled the fucking beans. He said the truth, which we already all knew. This is not a ceasefire. There's no ceasefire unless they capitulate and to Israel to allow them to slaughter another 100,000 Gazans in low-income apartments, which it's all pretty much rubble at this point. It's now slaughtering Gazans. Can you even call them Gazans? These are like nomadic wanderers now in tents. So they're blowing up their tents. They're shooting the children now as they're trying to get the food that's being locked up, that's been locked up, and not being dispersed to the starving families. IDF is now popping off the children who are starving, coming for the food. Fact. Iran's not doing that. Hamas isn't doing that. Hezbollah's not doing that. The Houthis, they're not doing that. They got real quiet after Dawn came in and bombed the shit out of them, which I didn't like that either. That started this. So why do we take exception to this now? 23 minutes in, why do we have objections now? Why is this so critical? For me, it's because it makes Dawn look like a sociopath, a psycho killer. He's siding with genocide. He's a liar now because he was supposed to totally framed himself as a peacemaker, totally framed himself he was going to solve the Ukraine Nazi Slavic Civil War. It never would have happened with him, and he's going to solve it. All this shit has fallen out. He's now proven delusional. It makes him look delusional. It looks delusional to me because you didn't come in, you weren't able to do any of that. You weren't even able to even successfully get him to sit down. Now, a big part of that is because you have a coup. Donnie has a coup with Pompeo. We saw Lindsey Graham and Blumenthal, Senator Blumenthal, and who was the other one there? Secretary Pompeo, I mean, what a backstabbing traitor to have him in the middle of it, meeting there with the coked up Zelensky, the Green Goblin, patting him on the back with his little drone attack. When that all went down, they all flew over, right? It's disgusting. I understand there's a coup, so I've been very open. I've given you some wiggle room about it. But it's contrary to all of our core principles. And I say us, it's libertarian, it's peacemakers, it's independents, it's non-affiliated, it's tens of millions of people that voted for Trump. Now all feel betrayed. And that has massive ripple effects that will ripple through the midterms next year. And I know that's 14, 15, 16 months from now. I understand you all think it's going to be erased from their minds. And there's a whole bunch of people with short-term memory loss. But why this is such a big deal is because Lindsey Graham said it today, is he says there's no peace if they won't acknowledge Israel to be a nation, ethno-nation. He didn't say that word, but it's an ethno-state of a Jewish state. How did he say it? I should play that for you because it's pretty remarkable when he's asked from in the halls, like I said, the bowels of the Capitol. So and he's using the word over and over again. He uses the word religious Nazis, which is the biggest gaslighting turd psyops that anybody could do, is to have Lindsey Graham, who's a Zionist, who's an ultra neocon Zionist, who's been calling for Zelensky to nuke Russia and insane things, insane shit. And he's now smearing Iran as religious Nazis. He literally, in 2014 and all the way up till last week, has been siding with Ukraine Nazis, literal Azov Battalion Nazis in the Ukraine. He's been arming them, sending coke, strippers, arms, missiles for over a decade. Literal Nazis. That's who Lindsey Graham has armed, and that's his little CIA cabal of buddies. Those are his buddies. So he's smearing, standing with Nazis, trying to smear Iran, which Iran has. There's Christian churches there. There's open religion. There is a fundamentalist cult. And I don't know exactly how this whole mullah thing jives with. They have some sort of parliament. Is there a parliamentary structure? This whole religious leadership, like spiritual leader, it's so cult-like. I don't understand it. But I do know a little bit, and I've been watching and I've been seeing the subtitles, so I'm not understanding the language, but I can see the subtitles and I can hear them in the speeches as they're trying to explain themselves to the world. And it's quite puzzling. But there's all kinds. I see videos of women wearing lipstick, and there's a whole social revolt that has happened, and I think is still happening. To the extent I don't know, because I do see a lot of Sharia law with the hooded and all of this, and I don't understand any of that, but I don't have to understand a religion to respect them to do what they want, as long as it's supposed to be the guidelines of peace. Now, their religion, it's so complicated, it's beyond getting into that now, and we don't need to. I think there's no reason to try to explain that which is really unexplainable, and something that I don't really truly understand, except for it seems a little bit cultish, but it's not the entire 90 million people. There's not like 90 million Sharia. There's obviously different layers and sect, SECT, in that country. And I don't think they want to die. I don't think it's a death cult. I think they're really just looking to survive. And there might be a little bit of bluff, but there might be a lot more of a hidden dark hand. I, for one, believe they already have nuclear warheads. And the reason that we know that is because North Korea has it, Pakistan has it, China has it, and Russia. And we've been seeing Chinese white planes through MonkeyWorks app. He's got his little spyglass app, which anybody could get. If I had the money, I would get it just out of curiosity. But you can track all these different flights and tail numbers. Now, they do flip off the tail numbers and go dark. So they're disappearing. And in wartime, there's a whole bunch on the radar. It's just clear sky. And he goes, they're all turned off, right? It's like the whole region. There's a lot going on. He goes, they should be lit up. But we've noticed some different planes coming in. We've seen China come in. Where did China, what was China doing before the bombing? Did they pick up? Did they pick up finished product? There was dump trucks, down here. There was dump trucks down, noticed through, didn't come from CIA, didn't come from Ratcliffe, didn't come from old Secretary of War Pete. No, they didn't show anything like that. It was the public and other spy apparatus that was leaking that to the world, to the public through Google, whatever. Mainstream, .com, the whole presentation, the platform, the interwebs, as they say. So we see that now they're saying that first they didn't acknowledge them. Now they're acknowledging them, and they're saying those were going to be used to kind of protect the entrances, which is possible. What I didn't really understand is why would you have dump trucks to use for pulling out something to get it out of there? Now, so the process, there's yellow cake, that's the raw. Is that what the other two facilities were doing, were yellow cake? I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. What's this one? The big one with the drawing, the one that they're making a big deal with in the middle of the mountain, mile down, half a mile down. Who knows? How many layers do you think they got? I think they got a lot of layers. But the point is that so you had the dump trucks. Now they're saying that they were there. They're acknowledging it. Blah blah blah. I kind of tend to believe that they weren't directly involved with the finished product. These little tiny uranium balls that go into on top of a warhead. So we know that they've got intercontinental ballistic missiles, the ICBMs, because we've seen them. Now, I knew that beforehand. Israel underestimated them. Donnie did. All of his advisors. Everybody underestimated what Iran had and what they're capable of. That's why it reconfirms to me that if Pakistan's got the nukes, China's got nuke warheads, it's not hard to have. They've already got that. And on top of that, this direct energy weapons with the space weapons, we know China's up there with that. That's why Space Force and everyone is so geared up to come in with a golden dome, which would take trillions and trillions of dollars. Instead of building low-income housing for the veterans, trillions and trillions of dollars to create some sort of golden dome, which we've just seen Iron Dome fail for Israel in a spectacular historical fashion. Facts matter. Facts matter. Israel was out of Defender missiles. Facts matter. Israel was getting its ass kicked by hypersonic missiles. So you see the little flare ones come up. They're sending in drones in these flares to bring in all the missiles, and then they come in with the hypersonic. Doosh. Doosh. This. Pow. Pow. Show. Hypersonic. Totally different missile. You see it when it comes in. That's why you're seeing this. That's why you're seeing these type of motions when you look at the films and the footage and the evidence of what the hell's been going on for quite some time. So even the Houthis have launched these hypersonics that fell through, managed to, what do you call that? There's some military term where you get through the radar. They escaped the radar in the Iron Dome defense. So we saw that, and they were blowing shit up. They blew people up. They blew Israelis up. They blew children up. It's fucked blowing up. It's a massacre. And we didn't want that to happen for Israel. We didn't want to see the kind of middle to upper income condos there. I mean, that footage there doesn't look like Gazan low income. Got no problem with low income apartments. People need housing. Sometimes you got to be humble and you got to have some low income housing. You suck it up. It's not a big deal. It's not the best, but we need that built. Now, these condos in Israel, these were the higher upper end. That's going to have political consequences for old Bibi and Sarah, right? Because people were starting to wear thin. You've got a couple of weeks where the kids are out of school. Everyone's traumatized. People are stuck in, and they're like, wait a minute, we're Israelis. We've never had to do this before. This is the real war. This is what the little Chihuahua Bibi and his pit bull Sarah's wife, this is what they have actually been forgetting and not to tell you, that they got everything taken care of and they're just going to assassinate and blow up all the neighbors. All the neighbors can take out Israel 100 times fold. How could you not know that living in Israel? Because Bibi's lying? False sense of protection? All the above? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you try to get into the psychology of that. But they're out of ammunition. All Iran had to do was hit a couple more of desalination facilities, which as soon as you hit the water, everyone's going to be in real big trouble. They're going to be a lot like the Gazans. All the people in those wealthy condos in Israel, the West Bank and all Golan Heights, where were all those, Tel Aviv's the big one, right? Looked like nice apartments to me. And in fact, the apartments in Iran look pretty nice, right? The guys weren't doing too bad for being so horribly oppressed by a bunch of religious Nazi lunatics, right? Fancy, expensive turbans. The gaslighting and the deception is just, that's the worst part to me. I mean, I could actually give Trump some wiggle room if he hasn't continually repeated the things that are being repeated. And now we're going to savagely attack some alleged whistleblower because they happen to say, by the way, that we've got this one report. There's a bunch of other reports, but there's this one report they're ignoring that says it didn't destroy it. We don't know. We can assume. We've made a lot of assumptions. You have to make assumptions because there isn't the intelligence yet, because you haven't been underground yet, right? You got to send at least a drone in, and how are you going to do that? They want the ground troops to come in and inspect that. Well, guess what? Iran's now told the International Atomic Energy Group that they have been willingly participating with, told them to go fuck themselves. So what does that do for the region? It makes them a lot more unsafe. It makes it actually explosive. So when you have the little beautiful press secretary come out and tell you that the world is a safer place because of Trump, it's a huge dump truck. It's 15 dump trucks lined up full of donkey manure. That's what it is, right? You got dump trucks there on the satellite photos of the whatever it's called, Nordid. Sorry, I didn't write it all down. I've heard it so many times. I'm beginning to just tune it out, and unfortunately, this was really devastating my feelings towards this administration. This is really bad. It's really bad for me as the voter to have my faith in the integrity of Donald J. Trump. It's been nuked. You have dropped 30,000-pound bunker busters onto the base, your voter base, onto me. The guy that voted for you and campaigned for you, not some big contributor, but I represent a larger portion of how Don got elected. And we're not happy. I don't think you're going to bring the libertarians back. And the libertarians are huge. They have major issues with the AI and all this other crap that you're trying to jam into the big polished golden turd bill. That's probably going to sink now. There's numerous reasons that it's just packed full of crap. and I thought maybe there was an overreaction, and my gut wanted to defend and just get this going. And why do you guys, let's modify it, just amend, pull it out. But now I realize that it's way beyond amending, and it's at this point, because of the actions, I don't want any of this funding going. I don't want any military funding or anything now. We got to shut it down. We got to defund it. And we should probably shut down the CIA and defund. We should fire Ratcliffe, close the CIA, and shut it down. We'll save trillions of dollars by doing that. How much did this bombing campaign happen? So we're pulling money out of low-income families. We're hacking insurance for Medicaid low-income families because we're on a big budget cut. Remember that? The big Doge campaign that made you guys look like you were competent in doing something for us, and then you disrespected the leader and ran him out of the White House? Do you remember that? Do you remember what you did to Elon? Because we remember what Elon was doing was good public relations, and what you're doing is fucking your public relations. Big time fucking the public relations. And I would think you were smarter than this. I would think you understood politics better than this. But you don't. It's obvious because you continue to repeat and double down on the shit that's been called out, and it's proven that you're all lying, gaslighting pieces of Mick crap. Military industrial complex. It looks shady. At this point, it looks like something out of The Sopranos, where you're doing some weird bullshit mission, Operation Midnight Scammer, to somehow protect Bibi, who's got another corruption trial and needs to go to prison. So you're trying to keep the mobster comrade? What do you call that? It's The Sopranos. It's a hodgepodge of fucking criminal syndicate. That's what it looks like. And that's bad. That's really bad. Now, there's a time and a place for organized business and organized crime. Believe it or not, I actually believe that. What you guys are doing looks like a clown show. This is like Barnum and Bailey. This is not even an organized crime hit. This is just retarded. It's fucking stupid. And you're out here, got Pete screaming and yelling at the press because they're asking questions about where's the evidence of what the fuck happened? What did happen? What did you guys do? Trillions and trillions of dollars, and we've got 6 grade sketches of what the fuck is supposed to have happened. We don't know. You claim you don't know. It seems like you're exaggerating. The polishing and the framing is disgusting. Stop. Full stop. Time out. You're done. You all get red cards. If this was soccer, it's red cards. I'm pulling all of you off the field. If I can't fire you, you're pulled off the field to sit your ass on the bench. You're fucking it up. It's a big fuck up, and you're derailing the domestic agenda because you lose me. I don't want anything to do with that big BBB bill. No, I'm so disrespected. I don't trust you guys about anything now because you've been lying to us all, and you continue to lie in front of the international community. You lied with the Iranians, you lied about diplomacy, and then lied within the diplomacy about the diplomacy. Now, after you bombed them, you're lying about wanting the diplomacy, and you're lying about what you were doing with the entire military operation, which was a lie to begin with. Sending out tweets at great shot. They assassinated 30 people that were just in the military for self-defense. They didn't attack you. They didn't bomb you. Yeah, there was a long, I call World War III, there was a long battle over Iraq. Sunni, Shia, everybody was fucking there. Even the Kurds were fucking in the mix. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Assad's freedom, military fighters. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, we saw that. You can't blame Iran for backing those people because it was a world war and they were pulled into it. It borders their country. So you can't blame them. Unfortunately, for the service people that died, God bless those. That's the real heroes, not participating in some sort of ambush sabotage and a fabricated lie of this looks like mass murder, but you didn't kill anybody there, although the week before you applauded the Israelis killing and destroying mass murder. So as you married the cause, as you married the campaign and start sending out tweets and truth posts of that it's we and it's our campaign and we're doing this and we're doing that in this delusional sense that bombing the fuck out of Iran and their little facilities was going to make them crawl on their knees for now nuclear diplomatic discussions and agreements. And it's the most retarded, asinine, fucking stupid project. Operation Scammer, Midnight Scammer, is a total failure in my perspectives. Politically, even militarily. I'm glad you didn't crash a fucking bee. Thank God nobody died. I mean, thank God. Thank God. That's we don't celebrate it. It's a time for mourning. You can celebrate that no one died. That's great, but that's not a celebration like you're making it. So, and I said I was going to show you that this Lindsey Graham. I don't know if you can hear it.
No one suggested that. It was a good briefing. I don't know why Gabbard was there, but it's well to the point that the director of national intelligence wasn't there. Are you concerned that President Trump specifically and the administration more broadly are not trusting the advice and counsel they're getting from the intelligence?
Exactly. I'm fine with her. I wanted Ratcliffe. I don't care who's the director of national intelligence. I want to hear from the CIA. They're the ones with the assets.
Does President Trump trust the CIA?
I want to hear from the CIA. They're the one with the assets. That was Ratcliffe in the Situation Room running the show.
It was Ratcliffe. I mean, the president has high confidence in Ratcliffe. I do too.
It's Ratcliffe.
I think all of them perform well. But
We all love Ratcliffe.
The question is, let's say it's 2 years. Let's say it's 10 years. Let's say it's pick a number. The threat still exists as long as Iran, as a nation state, desires to purify Islam, destroy the Jewish state, and come after us. That's what people need to remember. I'm not taking away anything from this operation. I applaud it. I think the people who did it are heroes. But I don't want the American people to think that this is over. It is not over.
It's not over.
The regime decides to change.
You got to have a regime change.
Their behavior.
So this had nothing to do with nukes.
Yes. Can negotiations work? Maybe. They've
It's
never
regime
been-
change. He said it right there.
So if there's
This is not
ever
over.
to get a deal with
World War IV hasn't. It's not over. World War IV just started.
probably never going to be a deal with these people because they'll never give up their ambitions to destroy Israel, purify Islam, and come after us.
Senator, does this mean you're not particularly confident that the ceasefire will hold?
Well, comes back.
I asked that question. I don't know what behavior Israel's looking for to consider a breach of the ceasefire. I didn't get an answer to that. But here's what I believe. As long as Iran maintains the position that Israel cannot exist as a state, what do you expect Israel to do?
What do you expect Israel to do?
What's under your mark?
So we expect Israel to just keep bombing the crap out of Gaza. We expect Israel, the IDF. I hate that blanket term, just Israel, because half of the population of the people do not support Lindsey Graham or Bibi and Sarah, the two homicidal love doves, sociopaths. And you ought to see that documentary, the Bibi Files. It lays it out real good. It shows Sarah is heavy drinking, pill popping lunatic and violent. And I mean, no wonder Bibi just acts like, some sort of battered wife syndrome, because he is. She's just beating the hell out of him anytime he does something wrong. And he's doing things wrong all the time. So you hear right there, Lindsey Graham says it. He says the quiet part out loud. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. This isn't some sort of wild-eyed, all this. I'm not even going to say what they say because it's all so full of shit. All right. They target people and they say company names. These people are my friends and I love them and they're right. Have always been right. Well, not always, but good chunk of the reporting and independent journalism from InfoWars has been spot on. These guys are great, but it's not just them, although they're huge with a part of this. It's the other international perspectives that are saying this isn't adding up. It's not jiving right. Here's the last point, 50 minutes in. Hopefully I can make just one last point. I mean, I could talk for like 3 hours on it. And it's just too boring. Nobody gives a fuck. How do I condense all that into a 20-minute point, PowerPoint type presentation? And I'd have to write it down. I can't just wing it like I do. I'd have to really write down, and I could do that, I guess, if I have to. I just wish it would all go away. It's destroying the domestic agenda exactly like we said it would do. You don't have to be a psychic gypsy palm reader to see when you do that, what the perception is of what people think you're doing. They think you're aligning with Israel. Not just Israel, but the homicidal IDF genociders. A small group of people controlling all that nation. The Zionists, militant Zionists, not just biblical Zionists. We're talking about authoritarian, totalitarian, militant Zionists who want an ethno-state. So they were going to kill all the Muslims because there's no room for Muslims in the new Israel. The new Israel, the greater Israel, which overlaps all these areas that they've been assassinating and bombing. So they have to wipe out all the leaders before they can move that greater Israel border. And that's disgusting. There's no bringing peace. You can't spin it, no matter how sexy you are of a press secretary, and say the world peace, Trump has brought us to this. What she say? She said, the world is more peaceful because of Donald Trump today. Something like this. Not exact, but something like this. And I was just like, wow, it's that twisted and fucked up right now. That's how fucked up. And then we got a part of the base, this, who I call the Cook MAGA wing. Cook MAGA, not MAGA. It's not even MAGA. There's a MAGA branch there too. The America First is what's bringing in independents like me, bringing in all the common sense with Maha. Maha is right there, and they're doing outstanding work. It's this MAGA that's sabotaging everything that Maha's been doing and the coalition building that we need for midterms. Trump's not on the ballot. When you have a movement, a populist movement, and the leader's not on the ballot, we automatically are going to lose. And everyone knows this on the opposition side. Anybody that has a sophomore, junior year, high school schooling or thinking process, even, you don't even have to go to school to fucking know this shit. Just pay attention and educate yourself with the internet. They know that this is sabotaging the domestic agenda. They know that this is going to be used against to say they're for peace, they're for Israel. I just had a flash of the New York Zoran. The guy sounds like a radioactive isotope or something. This Zoran for New York City, the mayor Zoran. It's like, if this was Star Trek, he would be like one of the hostile Klingons. Zoran, I will build you house and free bodegas, Zoran. It's like, I'm Colonel Zoran. The Klingons are pretty scary looking dudes there on Star Trek. Dude looks so scary to me, and not because of any religious beliefs. I just don't trust him. He really is truly. Someone said he's a snake oil salesman. It really is truly that way. But the final point I was trying to make, and now my brain got scattered, and I kind of lost focus on wrapping up the final point. But I think what my recommendation at this point is, you probably don't have to do it, although sooner the better. You probably don't have to do it till like January after the holidays. You can just pretend everything's rosy and it's all swell, but you need pink slips for January 2026. You've got to shake up the cabinet. We need a new chief of staff. You need new secretary of war. Send Pete down to traffic duty, and he can scream at the ladies asking about how many women are working down there in the basement office. I mean, it's that bad. We can't have any Fox. Tammy Bruce, who thinks Israel's better than America. What the fuck is she doing? Fire her ass. Send her back to Fox if Fox will take her. And send her on up to Tel Aviv. Get all these people free trips. If you want to go, that's what you love, go do it. You can't serve two masters. You can't have two gods. You are either America first and number one for America to make it better, or you're serving another foreign country, which technically that's called treason. No matter how spiritually relevant you think they are, or how holy of a land you think their third temple in the red heifer is. Got me? Which, so be that, you're slaughtering people, not just building a temple with the red heifer. I love ribeye steaks. Let's do a red heifer. Come on. I got the grill going. I'm a grill master. Did I mention that? You don't slaughter people. And you're doing the assassinations, it's a violation of international law. We can't stand by as these religious Nazis, to use Senator Graham's own words against him. He is the religious Nazi. We cannot stand with religious Nazis, Zionism, as they slaughter all of their neighbors, top generals and scientists and neighbors they just don't like. They're going to murder them, including their children, which is totally sociopathic to kill the whole family. Which, you know what that's called? It's called Where's Daddy? Operation Where's Daddy. Where's Daddy is when they come in and they massacre not only the father, but they massacre the whole family. Uncles, moms, aunts. It's a whole package deal. And that's what they've been doing. They've been massacring not just the one guy that they want. They're coming in and they're probably murdering like the mafia in the old days, some of the dark mafia, because the general rule is you don't hit women or children. I mean, the old Italian mob and a lot of organized crime, you don't target women. You don't target children. They're doing exactly that. And they're calling that Operation Where's Daddy? Well, who called Donnie Daddy at NATO? What do they call him? Daddy. Why did they call him Daddy? It wasn't an affection. It was a reference to a godfather. The mafia massacre godfather. That he's backing Bibi the Butcher with his insane wife Sarah, the alcoholic pill-popping lunatic sociopath. As in murdering and extrajudicial assassinations in the Operation Where's Daddy? There's Daddy. Where's Daddy? Operation Where's Daddy? Trump is Daddy. Daddy's here. This is Daddy. That's what they're calling him, Daddy. It's not like, your honey, your little side something, or even whatever, calling you Daddy. Or even like a family, like it's a daughter or the family. It's like, Daddy, where's our daddy? It's nothing to do with that. I don't interpret it like that at all. That's not what he meant. Yes, he's a bootlicker. No, it's beyond that he's a bootlicker. He's with Operation Where's Daddy, where we assassinate everyone related and maybe leave one child or two children crying in a back room or in a cellar as the rest of the family is assassinated. We know this is happening because they slipped notes underneath all the current militant ranking, ready to be to move into the seats in the ranks of all the 30 assassinated high-ranking Iranian guard. 30 of them have been assassinated, from what I understand. What's one report? All these people are going to be promoted and put into that. Mossad is already, and probably CIA. The CIA is right there in Iran. Mossad, they rented out warehouses. They've got buildings. They own property there under aliases. They're still there. They're still targeting and assassinating. That's how they launched that successful attack, which was a pussy, coward, lying sabotage. Pussies do sabotage. That's not a fair boxing match. That's not a cage match. That's not even a street battle. where everyone's armed. We know we're going to do battle. That's a sabotage where we assassinate your children while you sleep and you're sleeping. We come in and bomb everything. Some people say, well, that's smart and it's safe. Well, the B-2 coming in, yeah, maybe, I heard Don say a new moon. That's exactly what I was talking about. The new moon is the sabotage time to do something. The full moon, you got more light. You want it dark. Don even said that a couple of days. He just took those words right out of my mouth. He called, it was a dark moon. He called it a dark moon. You say it was a dark moon? It's like a dark moon. I thought, the dude that was born on a blood moon understands the moon. And that was Donnie. Donnie's born on a blood moon, and he understood what he was talking about there. At least that's what I heard. Maybe I heard something different, but there's nothing heroic about it. We're still on the brink of World War IV, which is the grossest, sickest component of all of this. We can't rest. We all anticipated and expected Don to be the peacemaker that he campaigned and said he was going to be. He was going to reduce our cortisol and our stress and our anxiety, that Biden had taken us to DEFCON 4 on the brink of a nuclear holocaust with Russia. Because at some point, Russia has going to use some micro nukes. And he's probably going to be justified because of what the Nazis are doing, blowing up radioactive. If they blow up the Zaporizhzhia, they tried to do that and then blame Russia. So the Nazis and the CIA were trying to blow up the nuclear to create a nuclear incident. That happened more than a couple times. And they kept blaming on Russia. And Russia's like, no, we're protecting this. We lived through Chernobyl. We don't want to live through this again. And that's what's not being talked about with this strike and this hit in Iran, is that we were on the brink of a nuclear holocaust and incident, which that plume is going to circle the earth and affect everyone, not just the Iranians, or not just that. It's so stupid to think that, to not realize that. I mean, it's like, what is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you guys? Snap the fuck out of it. And it's beyond repair. I don't know what to do. Shake up the cabinet. Sooner the better. And turn this sinking Titanic. The White House administration is now the Titanic. It's sinking. So I guess you rearrange the chairs. Rearrange the deck chairs, because, and why do I say that? Because midterms opens the door for impeachment and for hell. That's going to torpedo the entire agenda. It's going to be meaningless. And for what? And for what? To do some midnight scammer to be in solidarity with a homicidal lunatic like Bibi, who's on trial again for corruption and needs to go to prison? He's done prison shit. He's corrupt. Don't attach yourself to him. It's going to make you look even worse. And then you bring down everybody around you. It's ridiculous. Oh, yeah, Congress is owned by AIPAC and Israel. That's not the point. There could be some truth to that. But it's beyond that. I actually think China is controlling Congress more than Israel, to be honest. But I'm not ruling out the whole Israeli bribery schemes, the honeypot schemes, and the blackmail schemes. But that's not the point. The point is the voters. We can't get shellacked in the midterms. We can't lose the American hearts and minds. And you can't double down on this shit. You can't double down on it. You can't host I saw Pete and the general doing their little charts, and I did see that they did show this little. What they showed to me was this, which it doesn't prove really anything. It doesn't prove that you actually got down there. It stops there. It doesn't show that you go down half a mile. So that could be those three prong of the vents, where the one you say goes all the way down, could just have stopped flat. I actually sense that there was some sort of barrier there, not the cap. They said they blasted through this concrete cap. Not that, but down below, on the bottom of these, I see some sort of a barrier here. This doesn't go all the way down. I think there is some sort of other vent, and that's just I could be totally wrong. I hope it doesn't really matter if I'm right or wrong, but that would also it would explain why it's being questioned that it really didn't go down half a mile. It didn't go down through there. And what they showed today was explosions coming out of a tunnel, which that tells me you blasted up above. The tunnel and the driveway, that's not down below. That's not half a mile down. You're not going to see that flash up close through the entrance tunnel, in my opinion. Now, maybe that was just some sort of AI thing. Or some other blast test that they did before. Apparently, they've been watching this thing for 15 years, trying to talk a president into doing it. For the fourth administration, after 15 years, Obama said no. Even Trump said no. Well, who knows? But it was reported the first time they were trying to bring peace. Of course, they said that now, and that turned out to be a lie. So we're not safer. The Middle East isn't safer when you're lying and duping people in the middle of negotiations. We are now the legion of fork-tongued snakes to them, and you can't blame them because you've lied to them and then come and bomb them. In Israel, you're standing with Israel, who's been assassinating their engineers and their people and their families in their apartments for months. And they're still doing it, and they're going to continue to do it. We just heard Lindsey Graham. I hope you could hear that. If not, it's available. He said that today. That was the crazy little presser, little snippet today that he was down in the bowels of the Capitol. So I'm repeating myself there. I think I've said more than enough. I really have. All the trillions of dollars in U.S. intelligence. We deserve and expect more than this sixth grade and the narrative telling us that we all need to worship and celebrate and wish congratulations and not ask any questions. That's the exact opposite way to handle this. You handle it with PR and you break down all the questions. You don't say you know when you don't know. So stop spinning it as a slam dunk when you really don't know. You did what you guys were supposed to do. It may not have done what you thought it was going to do. We knew that because you said you were going to do just one 30,000-pound bunker. Then it became 6. And then I started hearing discussions about, well, we could do dozens. And it's like, what? So 1B2, whatever you used, only holds 2. So, and that's how we ended up with 14. What the? I mean, and how many trillions of dollars did this cost? As we're trying to save money, and as I was ranting earlier about the disrespect to Elon and what they were actually doing great PR for the voter base, opposite of you guys, you're now going to take the money out of poor folks when you're pulling stupid shit like this and celebrating. It feels like some sort of Romanesque Rome burning and you just blew up yourselves, because that's blowing up Trump's legacy. I don't want that. I'm on America First. I'm with you as an independent, but I'm with you. You lose us, you lose me. I think you lost all the libertarians. I don't know how you bring back libertarians at this point. They're way beyond, bro. You're in big trouble. We're all in big trouble. That to me means we're headed for a train wreck, giving Democrats an upper leg coming in next year. I don't want to lose America. I don't want to see America go into civil war. I want peace here domestic, and I want us to get the out of Israel and get away from Bibi and his psychotic wife, Sarah. Okay? She needs drug treatment. Bibi probably does too. But they need prison now. They can write books. They can find God. They can write their books and get things straight. We're going to have new regime change in Israel. Whether the people want a regime change in Iran, everyone always says we don't care. I don't really care. I have no emotional attachments to mullahs and supreme burritos. And, don't disrespect, but it's a little nutty over there. It's a little nuttier than my taste. You know, I escaped a Christian cult from Idaho, which Idaho looks a lot like Iran, and northern Idaho operates a lot like Tehran with mullahs, except for they call themselves Assembly of God. Religious Nazis, huh? Senator Graham calls himself religious Nazis. Now, he called Iran that, but he's calling himself a religious Nazi. That's it. Peace out. God bless.